Good morning. So last night was amazing. It is one of those nights I'll never forget. And so if you haven't checked out that video, I'll leave a link below. But it's called Walking Through History and Celebrating Freedom. And so yesterday we were here in Izmir, and it was the Turkey or Turkey Independence Day. I think they call it Republic Day here, but they had an amazing celebration. I mean, it rivaled anything that you would see in the United States. It was great seeing all the people from this beautiful country out celebrating, and they had so much pride for their country, and there were just flags everywhere. It was just amazing, and I'm glad I got to experience it. So if you're ever here in Turkey at the end of October, you definitely want to experience how these people celebrate Independence Day. But today we are going to be heading to Ephesus, to the ancient city of Ephesus. It's another one of those 7 churches that were written about in the book of Revelation. And just outside of the city of Ephesus is what is believed to be the house of Mary. The last house that she lived in, she moved there with the Apostle John after Jesus was crucified. And so we're going to go visit this house that they think that was the house of Mary. So it's going to be a great day. Ephesus, the house of Mary. Welcome back to Fit Trek Travel. We are leaving Izmir now, and it has been an amazing time in this beautiful city. But today we are going to explore one of the most sacred and fascinating sites in Turkey, and that's the House of Mary. It is nestled in some serene hills around the ancient city of Ephesus, and we'll also be visiting Ephesus later. The House of Mary for centuries was lost to history, but its discovery is a story that blends faith, visions, and a bit of detective work. The story begins in the early 19th century with a German nun named Anne Catherine Emmerich. Though she never left Germany, Emmerich had vivid visions of Mary's life. In these visions, she described a small stone house in a forested hill near Ephesus where Mary lived with St. John the Evangelist after Jesus' crucifixion. Emmerich's detailed accounts were recorded and published after her death in 1824. Fast forward to 1881, a French priest, Joseph Julien Goyet, read Emmerich's descriptions and felt called to find this house. Using her visions as a guide, he traveled to Turkey and explored the hills around Ephesus. But it wasn't until 1891 that the site was officially rediscovered by a team led by Father Poulin, a Lazarus priest. They followed Emmerich's clues, details like the house's location on a hill, its stone construction, and a nearby spring, and this very spot was found. What's remarkable is how closely this site matched Emmerich's visions. The team found a small, ancient stone structure, a natural spring, and even remnants of a hearth, just as she described. Local Christians, known as the descendants of Ephesus, also shared oral traditions that this was Mary's home, adding weight to the discovery. Today, the House of Mary is a chapel maintained by the Catholic Church, but it's a place of pilgrimage for people of all faiths. One of the highlights of the grounds is the sacred spring, located just below the house. According to tradition, this spring flowed during Mary's time and is believed to have healing properties. Pilgrims often drink from the faucets and collect water to take home. Next up is the wishing wall. Visitors write prayers or wishes on pieces of paper or cloth and tie them to this wall. And before you leave, you'll pass a small gift shop near the entrance where you can pick up religious icons, rosaries, or bottles for spring water. So now we've left the House of Mary and we're on our way to the ancient city of Ephesus. It is about 7 kilometers or roughly 4 miles, but it takes between 10 and 15 minutes. The route is straightforward, but it does wind down these forested hills on a well-paved road called the Ephesus Road. So on this way, you'll pass through beautiful scenery, thick olive groves, rolling hills, and you sometimes can even get glimpses of the Aegean in the distance. So once you arrive at Ephesus, you'll pass through a lively shopping area that's practically a mini bazaar. And then you come to this wide path with these towering pines. It was beautiful. But now we've reached the main gate, and this is where the excitement really builds. We're about to step into a city that was thriving over 2,000 years ago, the hub of the Roman Empire, home to the Temple of Artemis, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. Entering the ancient grounds of Ephesus is like walking into a living history book. The first thing you'll notice is the wide, marble-paved street lined with columns and statues and remnants of grand buildings. The air feels different here. It's quiet, yet charged with the weight of history. We're standing where philosophers, emperors, and everyday Romans once walked. The grounds are vast, covering about 4 square kilometers, so wear comfortable shoes and bring water. This is one of the most famous buildings here in Ephesus, the Library of Celsus. So this site gets about 2.5 million visitors a year, and so it is usually crowded. There are a lot of people, and there are a lot of columns here. But now it's time to visit the bathroom. All right, this is the public latrines, and they are one of the best preserved examples of Roman communal bathrooms. That's crazy. They were built in the 1st century AD as part of the Scholastica Baths complex. These latrines were a hub of social activity. That's pretty crazy. After visiting the bathrooms, we step back out onto Curtis Street and then head to the terrace houses. The terrace houses are the luxurious homes of the Roman elite. So the terraced houses are protected by this roof that was made to protect all this excavation area and everything, and to preserve these stunning homes. Just as a full disclosure, the terraced houses do cost extra to go into. It's not included with your ticket to visit these ancient Ephesus. It's about $9 a person to go through these homes. The terraced houses are also called the houses of the rich, and they are a complex of 6 multi-story residences built into the hillside. They were constructed in the 1st century BC and used until the 7th century AD. These homes belonged to Ephesus' wealthiest citizens, think merchants, officials, and maybe even priests of Artemis. They're so well preserved that visiting them feels like you're walking through a time capsule. The first thing that hits you when you enter this space is the artistry. The floors are covered in detailed mosaics, from black and white geometric designs to more colorful and complex patterns. Each house had a similar layout, a central courtyard or atrium surrounded by living rooms, dining areas, and even private baths. Water flowed through clay pipes for fountains and heating systems. Yes, they had underfloor heating even back then. The houses were multi-level, with some rooms stacked up on the hillside. House 2 and 6 are the most elaborate, with grand dining halls where the elite hosted lavish parties. The terrace houses cover about 4,000 square meters, and excavations are still ongoing, so who knows what else they'll uncover. It takes about 30 to 45 minutes to explore, depending on how long you linger over the details. In my opinion, I would say the terraced houses are a must-see in Ephesus. They bring the ancient city to life, showing how the elite lived in style. If you're planning a visit, don't skip these. It's like stepping into a Roman villa frozen in time. And I must say, the view from the top of the terrace houses was pretty spectacular. So right now we're back outside and we're making our way down one of the most iconic paths, and that is Curtis Street. This bustling Roman thoroughfare was the heart of the city and is packed with history at every step. And we even made a couple of friends along the way. So right now we are in the area called the Upper City. This was also known as the State Agora, and it sits at the highest point of Ephesus, overlooking the rest of the city. This was the administrative and ceremonial core of the city, and in this area they also had a huge theater that set thousands of people. The Upper City is the area where politicians, priests, and dignitaries gathered, and this is the power center of a city that rivaled Rome in its prime. So right now we're back on Curtis Street, and it stretches about 200 meters downhill from the upper city toward the Library of Celsus. Named after the Curtists, who were priests that protected the sacred flame of Artemis, this was Ephesus' main artery, a bustling mix of shops, temples, and monuments where everyone from senators to merchants mingled. About halfway down the path you encounter the Temple of Hadrian, and it steals the show. So we made it to the lower part of the city, and now we are going to the Ephesus Experience Museum. The Experience Museum is located near the lower gate along Harbor Street, and it offers a 20-minute multimedia show that's a must-see at the end of your Ephesus tour. It was just opened in recent years, and it uses cutting-edge virtual reality and 360-degree projections to transport you back to the glory days of Ephesus. There are 3 halls in this museum, and the first hall sets the stage, showing Ephesus' rise as a Greek and Roman powerhouse. In the second larger hall, you're immersed in the city's peak. Think marble streets, the Library of Celsus, and the great theater filled with 25,000 spectators. The visuals, synced with music and sound effects, make you feel like you're walking among the toga-clad crowds. It covers everything from trade to religion, even the silted harbor that led to the city's decline. The third hall is a showstopper featuring a stunning tribute to Artemis, the goddess who defined Ephesus. And this is Harbor Street that I mentioned earlier. Heading back out, we walk through the shopping area again, and it is packed with stalls selling everything from Turkish carpets and ceramics to replica Roman coins and miniature statues of Artemis. You can also get a snack or a coffee here as well. So we have left the ancient city of Ephesus, and now we are in Selçuk. This is a city about 3 kilometers from the Ephesus ruins, and it has the Ephesus Archaeological Museum here. And this museum houses thousands of artifacts that were unearthed from the ancient city and nearby sites. This museum was founded in 1929 and expanded over the decades. It's been modernized to showcase finds from Ephesus, Greek, Roman, and Byzantine eras. If you've walked Curtis Street or marveled at the Library of Celsus, this museum puts it all into context. The museum has several galleries, each a gem. The gladiator room displays tombstones and reliefs of fighters, hinting at the action in Ephesus' great theater. Other rooms feature marble busts of emperors, elaborate sarcophagi, and tiny treasures like coins and pottery. The museum is beautifully laid out with clear English signage and climate-controlled rooms to preserve the artifacts. Tucked outside the main museum building is a small courtyard. The courtyard is like a sculpture garden with fragments of columns, ornate capitals, and inscribed slabs from Ephesus temples, agoras, and public buildings. Some date back to the 1st century AD. It was amazing to walk among these ancient relics and just learn the history of this amazing place. The star of the courtyard, though, is the reconstructed Roman fountain, which is a stunning centerpiece that once graced Ephesus streets. Tickets for this museum cost around 450 Turkish lira, which is about 13 US dollars, though prices can vary, so check ahead. The museum is open daily from 8 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. in the summer, with shorter hours in the winter. It's a compact museum, but it's packed, so plan for 1 to 2 hours to explore. There are also audio guides available in multiple languages like English and Turkish. There is a small fee for them, but it's worth it, I've heard, for the extra stories. We had a guide with us today, so we did not need these audio guides. The star of the museum is the Artemis Hall, and it is home to 2 massive statues of the goddess Artemis. Here is what the outside of the museum looks like. Kevin and Brenda just came out, and Eric is just wandering around there. In the courtyard right across from the museum was this cool statue with this head that's cut in half, and I think that's a bird on top of the head. We continued to explore the area around the museum and found this pretty cool statue. And they also had this gift shop that was in this building right across from the courtyard of the museum. By the end of the day, we were just about as tired as these dogs. But the dogs were pretty cool. Around this courtyard, there were a lot of dogs just laying around and kind of roaming around there, and they were very friendly, and so we definitely had to stop and play with these dogs and pet them for a while. But eventually our time here was over, and so we're heading back to our hotel in Izmir. So whether you're drawn by faith, history, or the thrill of discovery, these sites weave a story that stays with you. And that's a wrap for our adventure through the House of Mary, Ephesus, and this incredible museum. If you've visited any of these sites, or if they're on your travel radar, drop us a comment and let me know. And if you've enjoyed this journey, give us a like and hit that subscribe button. It definitely helps us out. Oh, and if you're in the market for a wedding dress, it looks like Izmir is the place to be. And I forgot to mention, it's Halloween today, and when we got back to the hotel, they had a lot of Halloween treats waiting for us. Thanks for watching. I hope to do better next time.